Hello everyone, Jackie Ding here. Today we're back at PhD Lab. This is kind of day 3, 4, 5 prep for the Supra. And today is Aero day. All of the aerodynamic components have arrived and we're gonna have to put them together and onto the car and mount them stiffly because it's gonna make a lot of downforce. This is truly some next level stuff and I really can't wait to share with you all. So let's start with the biggest, baddest splitter I have ever seen. Perhaps ever is a strong word, but this is literally stuff of professional race car quality. Here it is. This is the Spage Sport, designed by Verus, Supra TA90 Evolution splitter. Look at this thing. This is gonna fit onto that. And what is really wild is the construction, the method of construction that went into this. That, you know, yes, it's been played on the edges, so the exterior parts that are like being exposed will look super shiny, and underneath the car obviously is still retaining the dry carbon look. And what you will see that's kind of different, and I'll compare this a little bit, is there are no seams or separation between the tunnels and the main element. Well, actually, if you look at it, the main element isn't even straight. This is curved up at the front, and it's super complex, and towards the ends of it, yes, it curves up as well. You may be wondering, how the hell does that work? Well, literally everything here is made as one piece. It's made out of a mold, and then Spage does his Spage stuff. A small tidbit, Spage stands for space age, and I'm not gonna lie, this is some space age technology sort of shit. This is the underside of the splitter. We have the big tunnel built into the center, the mounting points pre-made, all of the multiple tunnels, and actually all 3 of them are tunnels. None of them are flat part over here. And then that small little tunnel at the end, all the mounting holes. These are the little areas for our plastic scraping plates, if you like. We're gonna have some running along here as well. And center mounting point. This is all one piece. This is entirely one piece. This is obviously the older splitter that we had from Buttonwillow. It's been kind of 3D scanned and everything, so it's a little dirty. But what's happening here is basically you have to chop out the main element, chop out a section for the tunnel, this part, to kind of be bonded into with a special material, epoxy. Now, we're not doing this on the new splitter. On this new one, everything is all made together, which means, unlike the other one where you're taking away material and adding in thinner ones and compromising a part of its strength, this is all load bearing. This is all like extremely strong. So as strong as the rest of the, you know, like the traditional element of the splitter, if you like. And it's so amazing. It's truly incredible. Like, I could actually mount it on the diffuser if I wanted to, but then obviously you'll hurt the aerodynamic properties. So it's just so freaking cool. It's incredibly complex. None of the geometry are like super easy to make. Obviously, look at these. Like this is gonna be one tunnel. This is going to be another tunnel, and this is the 3rd major tunnel that goes inside the tire. Obviously, it's not complete because we still need strakes to go this way and this way. So we'll have to make 2 pairs of strakes and then some end plates, some little materials, the end plates that sit here. So this is still a work in progress, but I just wanted to show you off the raw carbon piece, and it's next level, dude. It's so next level. Having shown off the splitter quickly, we're going to move on to the rear part, where if you see on our 3D rendering, we're going to cut the bumper a little bit in order to reduce some of the drag. And I've been working away at it. This line is pretty much parallel to the bumper. Trying to figure out a good way to incorporate this area in. I kind of don't want to chop it. This already kind of has a hole, so I'm going to figure something out. But we do have a carbon piece of plate that will cover between the fender liner and the chassis and all the way to the rear here. So the tire, which will be exposed right around here, can just have all of its dirty air, all of the turbulence air gets straight out. Obviously, just chopping the bumper isn't good enough, so a lot of times you have to chop maybe part of the chassis. Thankfully, on the Supra, it's incredibly easy. All right, so this is the rear tire. This is where the chassis literally sits. We just took all the heat shielding and all the material off of it, and the fender liner, which extends down here, and some plastic bumper holders which came down here. But once you trim these, which are fairly easy to trim, the chassis is flat here. It's incredibly flat. Now, this side as well, although if you note this distance in relation to where the bumper beam sits, the two sides aren't completely even. So this side actually hangs down a little bit more than the other. But this is basically flat, which to the point of me saying, okay, you know what? I was going to plan on putting a flat plate here and over there. But seeing how flat this is, I see no reason. It's going to be in turbulence air, so few tabs and stuff here and there is not going to bother it at all. So just let it flow out. One piece of flat trim going this way to block off the tire wake from the rear diffuser, so the rear diffuser gets some nice clean air through here. And that's about it. So we trimmed the bumper. Honestly, it's super easy. This is incredible. I will say, on this side, behind the rear tire, this is where the old Supra factory evap system lived. We did specifically ask AMS about turning off the code, so they turned out about, I don't know, 30 codes or something like that to get the evap system, you know. But in the pursuit of ultimate performance, in the pursuit of speed, in the pursuit of less drag, and in the pursuit of maybe I rode America 170 miles an hour, we'll do everything we can. You might recall one of the things we included in the Verus Aero video was a side skirt. Now, we're not so sure on the side skirt happening. Literally, we're running out of time, so that might have to wait till a little bit later. Figuring out a mounting solution is another thing, and we don't really want it to fall off. So we're just gonna work on things that we know is conducive and helpful, which is one, probably the biggest thing is the front splitter, and then the rear bumper kind of area comes next, and then side skirt kind of later on. So we'll definitely try to make it happen. It's been a bit of a time crunch with border delays, COVID still kind of in effect, effectively hurting all the shipping and transport, so on and so forth. We just didn't have the time. So quickly walking through the splitter after a whole day of work, we've had to trim some of these aluminum pieces, basically turn them by hand instead of using a lathe because we don't have one.
Grind is my best friend for the whole day, pretty much, just grinding away.
Yeah, grinding away. This fits really beautifully. Look at this, like super. That's like really, really flush. Yeah. So, and now we're going to start on installing the strakes into this piece, because really, as you can see now, these tunnels are all open. Now we can't have that. These three has to actually be three separate tunnels with fences, like kind of blocking them. So
these two matter slightly less because they're supposing the same formula. This one's gonna be like the major one because
yes,
this is the turtle that produced the most amount of downforce.
Yeah,
so
this is the one that's gonna. This is the money maker basically.
Yeah.
Here's a template that we cut off from engineering design paper.
Yes.
Transferred onto a carbon sheet layer.
Yes.
From McMaster car.
Very very flexible.
130 seconds.
Yes. Full
thickness.
carbon.
Full carbon.
There's probably still like good 10-20 layers of carbon in there. If you look at it. This is like.
It's not too cheap, but it's a nice material to work with.
So basically, they have these tabs. So cut. So we're just gonna have a cut slot where.
Alex, this is why you wear gloves.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really work that way.
Okay.
It's still cut through it.
Okay.
So basically, I'm gonna start at the back.
Yeah.
Use my trusty, like a model or / dog nail trimmer with a metal cutting wheel. This is like the only precision cutter we have.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, I have to use a bezel, which doesn't work here. But you know.
Yes. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Quite effective. Very.
This is my years of Gunpla building skills paying off right there.
Damn, such handiwork. Gundam Master.
Okay, a little bit more. See how nice this fits now.
Oh yeah, first try.
Right? So I'm just gonna repeat this.
Yes. Until all the way to the very corner here. And then we just bond these up.
Just gotta
and
bump,
boom.
yeah.
Thankfully, if we're just humming, they can't copy strike us.
I think the more you bend it, the more rigid it's gonna become.
Yeah, of course. It should.
Yeah, also wind's gonna be pushing this way, so
yeah, it should help.
It should help.
This is sick. I know everybody's gonna be like weirded out by why we keep mentioning Gundam this episode. Long story.
The floodgate has been opened.
It's like when you start your first Gundam series and you just can't stop.
Yeah, Jackie's like 10 years too late to the party, but at least he's at the party.
Yeah, we're finally at the party now. Wow.
Pretty stiff.
So impressed, senpai. We just need a
last,
small one.
Last tiny bit.
Yeah. Thanks. Oh, it's holding?
Yep.
Oh shit! So this is really the realistic angle of the diffuser with the strakes. Your hand is in the way. Leave it. Let it go. One more here. 2 over there. And then that's kind of done.
Yep.
Sweet. Thank you, Gundam Master. We're gonna show you how Nakai-san from RWB.
Build carbon splitter.
Yeah, no, this is what the fuck are we?
I don't know.
we're just.
It is like 9:30, so we're kind of.
We're just having fun with
Yeah.
this. So thank you to Els Auto Body for lending us this tool. This very specific 3M panel bonding tool. If you buy a 3M, like one of these panel bonding stuff, you can't actually use any other cartridge guns. I had to find that out because we couldn't get this. I got this is the only bonding material I can get, but I can't find any gun.
Oh, thank God I called you.
Yeah, thank God. Alex told me to ask Rich from ask Els Auto Body, and guess what? Their body shop, of course, they have these. Got one from them, and we're gonna use these to quickly go over the rest of the splitter and bond everything we need to. So
Yeah. So
Here we
basically, we chop this. Everything kind of slot. Everything fits nicely. But
Yes.
we're gonna need to kind of.
it needs to stay. It needs to stay, and we're not gonna
so
use.
what we're doing is.
We're not gonna use any bolts because bolts are for plebs. Good.
Good.
A little bit more.
No, that's good. Just a little bit tap on the tip,
Good.
and then
Just
okay.
a tip. And then Alex with the magical touches. When Alex touches you, you feel all magical and tingly.
Demonetized.
Don't say that. You can say anything we want, just don't say the D word. We need that YouTube revenue to survive. There's a bit of a gap, man.
It is slightly of a gap, but
What's broken?
I think this.
like the middle is not
think-
fitting in.
Yeah, I think I might have.
We fucked ourselves. Have you
Yes,
fucked
a
us
little
over,
bit.
Alex? We're
Yes.
going to now basically be applying a line all the way on both sides, and then Alex is gonna run his magical fingers over it, and smoothen everything out. So quickly gave it.
So
we
these
go.
dries in like what 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a decent amount of time to
Yeah.
like deal with
Yeah.
all the way along, right along the edges. Don't go too fast. That was too fast. Just go normal speed, regular pressure. Off we go. Let the material come out. You know, one long streak. There. Oh shit. There we go.
That's okay.
Beautiful. And then Alex
Then
run
I
his.
just run my finger, and hopefully I don't get. Oh, hopefully I don't get any carbon shards. Yes, I've been
says-
watching RWB build video lately
This
to
is-
prepare for this.
Doesn't Alex have a majestic finger?
Smooth. Actually, need to do a little bit more on the front.
I'm gonna run it.
Check this out.
Beautiful. Now the other side.
Now the
and
other
then
side.
we're basically done.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, it's not Nakai.
It's not Nakai, but it's close enough considering we don't get paid for doing this shit.
Yeah, we're like.
Where's my spacer?
This is like our first time. Oh yeah, it's spacers.
Spacer.
We were just-
We had to kind of use something to hold it straight up.
Thank you, Liquid Molly, for providing these awesomely sized 1 liter 540 bottles that we
Yes.
can use as spacers. And Liquid Molly is indeed returning this year as a sponsor, so thank you very much for all your liquid profit.
Except for right now, so I have to use
No, don't,
other
don't,
brand.
don't do that. Been 4 days of non-stop working on cars. Just as we see the dawn, the light at the end of the tunnel collapsed. Metaphors aside, we have a fuel leak from the door, from basically where we had to like spin the big thing onto like the bottom of fuel tank. the O-ring that goes around it, somehow had a crack, just split in the middle of it. And when Alex put more fuel in today, it started leaking out profusely, and I mean like drip, 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 drip kind of deal. So it's like a pretty big freaking leak. Very glad we found it now, because we wouldn't have found it until Coda session 1, until I left the garage and Alex said, wait, why is there... Oh shit, most likely the car would be a fireball by the end of that warm-up lap.
Yeah, because the exhaust is like
because it's tank exhaust. So I'm happy that, you know, it wasn't worse. I'm also petrified because it happened literally just as even Home Depot's closed. So
this is the one like 10 o'clock
it's
right
like
now.
fucking, yeah, it's like 9:50 now.
Yeah.
So
We're supposed to be leaving tomorrow morning.
we're supposed to be leaving by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That ain't happening. Car is once again had its bowels disassembled on the floor. Let's go take a look at the car. I don't know who this dude behind me is. He was holding all the water and everything, but obviously yours truly here watered up all of these beautiful aluminum. Split. I can't take credit for somebody else's work, but I totally did all of them. He who shall not be named watered all this up pretty nice, super reinforced. One more in the center to do, and then this is ready. So, and then we're gonna just quickly zap. That's done. End plates go on. Come back tomorrow morning, bolt it back up. Well, when I say come back tomorrow morning, I mean stay overnight here to try and figure out the fuel leak issue, so we can leave this here and then put it out here and bolt it up, do the final assembly. That's done. I'll let him do work. Tighten 7.1 to the bigger logo spot. Well, here's you go. we made.
Well, we made about this big to this big.
Yay big. Imagine that spot. Yeah, jokes aside, yeah, like we wanted to do a rear wheel tire, what's it called, like drag reduction.
Yeah.
That's some grammar right there. Basically, we just lopped the bumper off. Thankfully, the chassis here is pretty straight, so didn't even need to put a plate here. So all it is one piece of carbon plate all the way back to connect it up to the Verus diffuser. Not the final hardware. Some brackets up top. This to connect it to the front, and then this holds into the factory fender liner, which yes, we're keeping because too many electric stuff underneath. I don't want it to kill anything. So yeah, it's really nice. We might do like a JDM boy cut right here just to make it look all like lined up and flush and freaking hot boy. But otherwise, just to reduce a lot more of the drag and the wake that's usually created by the tire as it's spinning. So this is similar to what you would find usually in like a GT3 car, Aston, whatever. We talked about this in the video. Pretty cool. So happy to make it happen. It's been a mad scramble. Honestly, we just didn't have the time to film. I'm very sorry. A lot of things happened last night. Basically, as we're getting the splitter and mounts ready, which yes, they finally are ready, and it's so low we have to take it off, otherwise it can't even like roll out of the shop. After that, we realized that there is a significant fuel leak. O-ring around the fuel pump door where you can like spun on had a split in it about 2 centimeters wide. We RTV'd it and it did hold, but this is like ghetto as hell. Ended up finding out that this morning by 7 we realized that okay, we called up a BMW dealership. They said they can get us to one by 1 p.m. And so here we are. We do have that new part. It's a little later than we would like to leave because we do have practice starting in exactly 24 hours. But we're gonna get onto it, try and make the trip, see if we can still practice with the car on the track. Last thing we want is to go on track as a fire hazard, and whether it be cause incidents or cause red flags or actually burn the freaking car down ourselves, the last thing you want is fire safety hazards. So that's kind of my bottom line, I guess. I'll full send the car all day, but I'd rather not drive a car that would potentially, very likely, catch fires. New one versus the old one. This is the one we had to box up. You can tell it's significantly smaller too.
Yes.
It's like the radius isn't even.
It probably is. I'm suspecting it's probably like a one-time thing. So
It
it's like
might-
stretched to kind of seal and everything.
It could.
When
Yeah.
you bolt it down.
Yeah, look at it.
Here's your difference.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's significant.
half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I think it
Uh-huh.
expanded.
it definitely. Let's get a couple more of these just as backup.
Yeah.
Like,
You got your
Every
part
time,
number
yeah,
right there.
yeah.
So long as assuming this works.
Every single time you would take it open, just junk it.
Look around it, see if you see any.
Oh, yeah, look, fucking, this is like way better than it was before. It's not sitting like outside anymore.
Yeah.
All the way. See for here. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Elmhurst BMW, for actually getting this to us in time. Kind of rescued us.
Yeah,
And yes, it is from a BMW dealership.